Yes, hello. You've been studying for the FNP board exam. You've been reading several books and taking several tests and reviews, and you feel like nothing is sticking. Well, it's not your fault because a lot of times people do not know how to study for the FNP board exam. Welcome to the MP exam prep. My name is Miriam. I'm a nurse practitioner. So, FNP exam is not a knowledge test exam. It's a clinical reasoning exam. So do not think that it's all about memorization, because sometimes when people memorize, then they go into the exam hall and then they start getting confused. I hear MP students talk about, oh, I did this review, but then when I went to the FMP board exam, I didn't see any single question. Well, that you will not see similar questions you will not see exact questions on the FMP board exam. You might be sitting in the same room with several people, but everybody may be doing a different exam. So that's why it's very important to know that the exams, both the AANP and the ANCC, are reasoning, clinical reasoning exams. They are not memorization exams. It's not just about the knowledge, but it's the way you use that knowledge for your clinical, the clinical reasoning part of the test, just like you would do when you start working. So always know that. But before we even go further about the video, just make sure too that if you decide to do the AANP or the ANCC FNP board exam, you need to go to each of their website and download the blueprint. Once you download the blueprint, you will know exactly how to study and what to study, because they break it down for you. Health promotion has this this many questions or this percentage of questions. Non-clinicals have this percentage of questions, especially with the ANCC. So always get the blueprint first. So once you do that, then you could start recognizing that the memorization is not part of the exam. So the next other thing is that stop memorizing, but start recognizing triggers. So I have this system that I call pattern recognition. And what that means is that you need to know what the clinical triggers are for a question. You don't just go, oh, I need, so I've seen this before, let me answer that. So make sure you know what triggers, the triggers are for a question before you go to answer it. The other thing I've come across, I've known is that, the AP exam has, what is known as buzzwords, is the like terms that would tell you much about the question. A lot of times, if you recognize the term, the buzzword, you will know how to answer the questions. You hear about Herod badge, you hear about strawberry tongue, you immediately that why is this Kawasaki they are talking about? Is it the scarlet fever they are talking about? As soon as you know those buzzwords, so it's very important for you to know about those buzzwords. So the practice of practice questions. I always see people saying, yeah, somebody said they practice 3,000 questions, how many thousand, 1,000 questions. It's true that you are practicing that. It's very good that you are doing that, but practicing questions, yes, this is not an optional situation. Practicing question is not optional, but you need to know how to practice them. So let's say you do a practice question and then you realize that, oh, you got this one wrong. Why did you get it wrong? So go back and try to find out, and then you could even go back to your book or your text and go and read a section about that topic, so that next time you will understand what they're talking about. The same thing when you get an answer correct, don't just memorize and go on. Go back and see how you understand why you chose the answer. Because mind you, these type of things are the same things that we do once you start working. The reasoning, the clinical reasoning behind everything. So you ask yourself that question. So I also put together what is known as the FNP board exam pattern recognition starter kit, and I would love for you to. There has no fluff, no filter, just the patterns for you, so that you'll be able to know about this. To pass your exam on the first try. So the link is in the description. Go ahead and find and check that out at mpexamprep.com. And thank you so much for watching this video. And also hope that you will get that when you get that kit, you will practice it and see what's is inside, because again, it's very sad that students study, use their time, energy, and then sometimes they go and they miss the exam. It's not about just memorization. The FNP board exam is about knowing the patterns and using your clinical reasoning, because mind you, when you start working, you're going to be using clinical reasoning. So don't forget to subscribe to my channel, NP Exam Prep. We drop a video every week. And like and share this video, because it's all about you passing your FNP exam, so that you can start practicing as FNP. Well, see you in the next video. Thank you.